I want to share with you the deeper secrets of astrology. So this isn't just about personalities and traits and habits. So the astrology I'm referring to is Vedic astrology. It comes from India. It's called Jyotish, which is like the science of light. And so now let me just give you a different perspective of what astrology is. What it can do for you is that you're learning a new language. And with this new language, the universe can communicate with you in new ways. So, if you're somewhat in tune, or most people can say that they've had synchronicities, things lining up that's like, if you're really lucky, you'll have experiences that really give you faith in the spiritual nature of the universe, because things will happen that are statistically impossible. And it's reflections of energy in the universe, like as if it's orchestrated to be shown to you in a certain way, as if it's intentionally planned. And I'm not saying it's planned like a ego entity is planning things for you, but it's just like the ultimate alignment. And when you're in that alignment state, it creates abundance and et cetera, et cetera. So let me just get off that tangent. What I really wanted to talk about is the signs and symbolism of astrology. And so there's multiple ways I can get into talking about this. Like I could say, without Mars, we wouldn't have a body. Without Moon, you could not feel. Without Mercury, you could not think. Without Sun, well, there wouldn't be life. Without Sun, you wouldn't have a father. Without Moon, you wouldn't have a mother. And, there's the shadow planets of astrology, which you've never heard of. That's a whole other thing to get into. But let me just share with you something interesting that happened to me. I was having a thought. And it wasn't exactly a thought. It was a sudden vision that I had. And whenever I have a vision, I really take it seriously and try to understand why I had it. And the vision I had, the information that came to me, it was hard to believe. I'm like, how is this possible? And then I thought about it for like an hour or two. I'm like, why am I seeing this? Like, it's something I wouldn't ever expect or believe to be true. But I'm like, I'm having this vision. And then as I was thinking about it, it hit me really hard. I was in the bathroom. I was looking at the halfway filled tub. It's still water. What's still water? That's Scorpio. And 30 minutes prior to that, I was thinking about the planet K2, one of the shadow planets. I just really wanted to understand, what is K2 doing in my chart right now? And then my friend sent me a video about K2 at the exact moment, out of the blue. And I'm like, okay, there's something. And then I had this realization about what K2 is doing in my chart. I'm like, oh, I understand it now. That's what it's doing right now. And then when I went inside, I saw the still water in my mind immediately. Scorpio. The word Scorpio popped up in my mind. I'm like, that is Scorpio. That's what the still water is. That is that energy. It always is. But in that moment, it felt very profound. And what sign does K2 control? The sign of Scorpio. I was thinking about Scorpio, K2. And then I'm like, oh, the vision I just had, it's operating under this Scorpio K2 energy. I'm like, oh, it makes so much sense. It was communicating with me. It's not necessarily that it was communicating with me. It's just that the energy I was perceiving was expressing itself in multiple different ways that I could see in the moment. And if I didn't know the signs of astrology, I wouldn't have recognized that. And so you might just be like, oh, he saw still water. And, so I saw a bathtub, that's Scorpio, because it's still water. And you might think like I'm overthinking it, but it gave me a lot of clarity in that moment. And that was one of the first kind of experiences like that where I felt the communication through the signs. And so when you learn the signs, like, okay, what is sun? Sun is government. Sun is father. Sun is the soul. Sun can burn things. Or what's Mercury? Mercury is business. Mercury is friends. Mercury is neighbors. Mercury is thinking. Why is it connected to all these things? What is moon? Moon is the mother. Moon is selfish. Moon is lustful. Moon is... Drawn blank. Let's talk about Saturn. What's Saturn? Saturn is your uncle. Saturn is the working class. It's society at large. Sun is the king. The opposite of that is the working class. Saturn and Sun are enemies. Or what's Mars? Mars is your body. Mars is younger brother. Saturn is older brother. And this might not mean much to you when I'm saying this, but the thing is, when you internalize all this, like imagine like the combination of all the planets and the signs, like they're all colors, and like you can see what it creates. And as you go through your life, you see what happens to these people in your life. Let's say you have an uncle who's in your life, and you want to know what's happening with your uncle in your life. You look at the planet Saturn and how far away everything else is from that. So let me show you a technique, how to judge things. We have 12 houses. The first one is you. The 7th one is other people, your partner, the reflection of you through other people. The 4th house is the mother, it's the home. 10th house is the career, it's the outside world. 9th house is the father, but 10 can also be seen as the father. So the opposites, home, career, life. So it works in these opposites. But here's another thing. What is your home? The 4th house. It's also the mother. Home, emotional nourishment, like your emotional peace, stability, that relates to the home and the mother. So 4 away positions from you is your home. What's your mother's home? 4 positions away from the 4th house, which is the 8th house. If like when you count the houses, like what's 2 away from the first house? 1, 2, the second house. That's how you count. The first house is 1, not 0. What's your father's mother in your chart? The father's in the 9th house generally. 4 positions away from the 9th, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can see the grandmother on the paternal, your father's side, through the 12th house. And so you can see every house. So, okay, let's say Saturn is in your 12th house. Okay, you want to see what's up with your uncle? Okay, oh, the moon is 4 positions away from Saturn. This does this. Or, oh, Venus traveled here today for the next 3 weeks, and that's what's going on with the uncle. And here's the thing. You might think it's hocus pocus. You might think it's overthinking and all in your head. But the thing is, if you get really, really in tune with it, you will see it. At first, you might be like, I don't know what this is doing. I don't know why this happened. Like I had this experience, and I'm trying to see in this chart, why did I have this experience? And, 6 months go by, and like, oh, that's how that happened. Because this position was this much away from this, and it's being affected by this and this, And if you really want to understand this, yes, you have to study it and memorize it, but it's also developing that instinct, that intuition. And so it's having the clarity, like I spoke about recently in my previous videos, developing that clarity. That's how you see these things. Develop the clarity to be capable of seeing it. It's there. You might not understand why or how or what it's doing, but it's there. The answer is in front of you, and you just have to figure out, you just have to see it. It's already there. And so it's really exciting realizing like what causes certain things to happen. It's like I can get the events super precise for some things. There's some things I'm like, I don't know why that happened. Maybe I'll figure it out in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, And when you learn these things, you get more in tune with what's going on, and you begin to understand yourself better, and you get to see the internal, external clockwork of reality, which is the astrology. And so every single thing in existence is reflected by something in the chart. Oh, I got a microphone. What is this? This must be Rahu, because Rahu is like technology innovation. It's probably related to Mercury, because Mercury is about communication. What else is it? Maybe it's related to Saturn and Mars combination creates some kind of machinery. So I don't know the combinations of that. I'm not an expert on that, but there must be some sort of that mechanism in it. Or cars, Mars and Saturn. But when it's a luxury car, then it becomes Venus, And it's like, what's that light bulb? Electricity, what could that be? It's K2, it's sun, it's this sign, it's, and these might be vague representations of what this is like. I could say, the Venus is the woman, the Venus is this, the Venus is that. But it's not about memorizing what Venus is. It's about understanding Venus, being able to see and feel Venus. That way, you could say anything about it without ever reading it in a book, because you can just describe it because you know it. You don't have to memorize it. You just know the essence of Venus or the essence of anything in the chart. So literally the couch, every single thing in the universe is represented by, guided, controlled by astrology. So it's not just some simple thing like your personality. Like I described earlier, Mars is your body. Without Mars, you're never going to have a body. Pretend that Earth is its own separate universe, and that it's the only thing that exists, or at least as we know it. And the planets we can actually travel to. They're just bodies of energy with spiritual functions. They're like magnetic things, but not just physical gravity. It's energy of different types. And it's like without any of those planets. Like if any one of those planets was gone, our reality would not exist really, or at least as we know it. And so it's not just some planet. It's hocus pocus and it doesn't actually do anything. No. You think they're millions of miles away, whatever. We're talking about real astrology. Not saying that, oh, you're talkative and you're this and that and you like to do that, and you get along with these people. It's just like, yeah, you can see that. But it's so much more. What's the purpose of astrology? It's understanding what we need to do to become enlightened, to work towards enlightenment. It's to understand what your impediments are and the obstacles that you're going to face are so you can overcome them the most effectively. It's not just some fun game, even though it can be fun, and it could be like a game. It's like a puzzle. It's not like you just look at your chart once and you know who you are. No, it takes years of looking at it. Like, you understand yourself differently. You look at your chart every year, and like every time you know, I'm looking at my chart all the time, but as you look at it over time, you interpret things differently. You see things differently. And like, looking back at my past, I can see like, oh, that's why this, that. And it's good to look at the charts of the people you meet because you get to know them, then you get to see why the chart is the way it is, you know? And sometimes what somebody presents to you isn't actually what the chart is saying because they're not living in alignment, right? So you want to know who they really are? Look at their chart. But here's the thing. How are you going to be able to actually know that? You can't just read some books on astrology and start saying things. No. You have to meditate. You have to contemplate and study and observe thousands of charts over many years. Too many astrologers confidently make these predictions when they haven't proven it. What you need to do is not be able to spit facts, but truly understand the essence of all of this. So it's not just a game of memorization. Yes, studying is important, but you need to really, with sincerity, pursue understanding the essence of these planets and the signs and all these details. And so I'm just letting you know, astrology is a lot deeper than you think, and learning this new language will change the way you see the world and yourself. And it unlocks an amazing new tool for self-development, self-realization. And how many people have the combinations to learn astrology? Here's the thing, you have to have certain combinations to do certain things. Quite a lot of people, you know. If I had to guess, I don't even want to say, but I'm like, certain planets make certain people better at different things. Anybody can learn it, of course. And I think everybody should at least learn the very basics. And here's the thing, there's a large percent, there's a fair amount of people, 5, 10, 20, 30% of people who will have a permanent blockage in their life until they do something like studying astrology. Because a lot of the time, Saturn is connected to somebody's K2. And if they do not fulfill the energy of K2, their Saturn is not going to develop their career, their karma, their life, their duty, what they're doing with their life, really. So if you have Saturn and then it's going to go towards K2 next in terms of Nadi astrology and the you have to look at the degrees. It's going to be too much for you if you don't know what I'm talking about, but Saturn is going to meet K2 in your chart. If that's the case, then you have to do some sort of spiritual practice. You have to meditate. You have to study astrology. You have to do something intuitive. Even if you have the same job and same career and same stuff, you might just have to study astrology for 30 minutes or an hour a day for that energy inside of your body to continue to flow. And then as a result, the external reality changes. So they say that the planets coordinate with the energy in our body. It manipulates the energy in our body. Of course, there's still a sense of free will. But it's like, do you think you don't have free will because you can't control the weather? It's 0 degrees outside, and you don't believe that, oh, I don't have free will because I can't control the weather. Just because the planets are controlling the energy of the universe doesn't mean you don't have free will. You know what I mean? If it's going to be 0 degrees, it's like, that doesn't mean you don't have free will. You understand what I'm saying? So this excuse that like, oh, I don't want to believe this because I don't want to think I don't have free will. It's like, no. Just because the weather is hot or cold doesn't mean you don't have free will. Like, you can't control the weather, yeah, but you can control you still, you know. Or if, like, let's say you drink coffee and let's say caffeine gives you anxiety. It's like, oh, I don't have free will right now because I have anxiety because I ingested caffeine. It's like, yeah, the planets might make you feel a certain way, but you're still you. You know, the planet might bring out an anger inside of you. Or here's another thing. Astrology is largely based on karma from past lives. And so look, there's karmas inside of your body, inside of your soul, really, that could be latent. Like, theoretically, you could have done something 20 lifetimes ago, and that karma has not caught up to you yet. But at some point, you could be an innocent person, and all of a sudden something really fucked up happens to you. According to the system, they'd say that you might have done something 20 lifetimes ago. Even though you're living a good life now in the last 10 lives, that energetic imprint stored deep in your soul, and it had to come out at some point. Just like if you get a vaccine and you do the primal diet, at some point you're going to get sick as fuck and you're going to throw up and feel like you're going to die. Because that's what it feels like to detox. And when it comes to astrology, you know, use iridology to look at the health of the body. Astrology is like that for the soul, for your karma. So just because something bad is happening in your life doesn't mean it's just like a detox. That wrong action you took in previous life, that energy, the essence of that energy that concentrates and stores in your soul, eventually that heavy metal, those toxins are going to have to come out, right? And you can determine when these things will happen a lot of the time. So there's certain age activations of planets and certain signs in your chart, and you can dictate what's going to happen and when. And you might, like, I might have something that happened at 16. I'm like, well, this major event, I can't tell why it happened. 10 years later, I learned this strange astrology technique. I'm like, that's what it was. Even if you can't figure it out, doesn't mean it's not there. It's always there. You just have to see it. How you see it, develop clarity, and you approach it with sincerity and devotion in your studies and your pursuance of the truth and understanding and gaining awareness. So certain planets and signs and houses activate at certain ages, or you can also see the transits of planets. And there's other things too, the dasha, the planetary periods that rule your life. Whatever dasha you're going through, that's what planet you're going to act like. And based on your chart, that's how it's going to manifest. And what's good luck, bad luck, it's not just good luck or bad luck. It's very advanced, like the exact way the energy is going to be flowing through the river of your life. You know, the amount of salt in the water, the flow, how fast it is, and if there's contaminants in the water, or et cetera, like every single fine detail. Is it dry? Is it, you know, it just understanding the essence of what's going on. It's not just some simple little thing. It's an extremely advanced, you know, there's a lot to it to see really what's going on. Like the combinations, and there's also divisional charts within charts, and it gets really advanced. And so, you know, Agenus gives you iridology readings so he can tell you what you need to do to get healthy faster. Yes, we all eat raw food and, of course, do the primal diet, right? But Agenus will give you remedies to get well faster. Of course, yeah, you're going to eat raw meat, you're going to drink raw milk and have juice and eggs. That's primal diet. But Agenus will tell you to do some crazy thing that you would have never thought of that you need only for you, and nobody else needs to do that. Like, you need to take coconut oil and then olive oil and let it sit, and put lemon juice in it and vinegar and let it sit for 3 weeks. And then once a day you have a quarter teaspoon, and you put it directly in the mouth, not in the cup, because it'll get stuck on the sides of the cup, and you drink that. And you wash it down with vegetable juice, and you only do that once. You don't put it in the juice. And, like, that might be, like, 1 out of 500 people who'd ever need to do that exact precise remedy. Maybe more than that. But with astrology, like, yes, of course we know, be a good person, live a good life, be honest, etc., etc. But if you want to know the extreme fine details of something that you never would have thought of that you need to do that's going to help you to detox your karmas, you know, and detox it. You know, if you do the primal diet and you know that you're probably going to get really fucking sick, like, because you have this toxin in you, it's going to be like, yeah, let me get prepared for that. Let me get fat, and let me make sure, like, I have some money saved for when I get sick. It's like, yeah, with astrology, it's like, oh, that's going to be happening next year. Let me get mentally prepared. Let me, like, you know, make sure that I just don't do the things that will make that situation worse. Then, you know, I'll be prepared to go through it. And I won't curse God for making this thing happen to me. Or I won't say, oh, this transit is so bad. This dasha is so bad. This sucks. No, it's more like, I understand this is what I need to go through, because to get to the other side, I have to go through this in order to be molded into the person I need to become more pure. So, understanding why things are happening. If you damn the circumstance, like, I wish this wasn't happening. Why is this happening? It's okay to understand why, but to say, this sucks, I have a bad attitude. first off, you're increasing your suffering. Something bad could happen, and you can make it worse by how you react to it. And so it's just about understanding the unfolding of reality, why things happen. If you understand why everything would happen, you probably wouldn't be as ill affected by it. You'd accept it, and you'd figure out what you can do to make it better. And so you might be wondering, how can I start learning astrology? To be honest, KRS Astrology. I thought his name is pronounced Capel, but it's like Kapil. I recommend buying his courses. Like, buy the beginner to advance, basics to advance astrology course. But if you haven't started studying it yet, I doubt you're going to spend the money on it, right? Here's the thing. There aren't really that many good tutorials on YouTube. Like, you can just start watching KRS and you might not really understand what he's saying, but you just keep watching and eventually you start to pick it up. But his course, the beginner, it's called like beginner to advance on his website. It's like $80. Like, that goes through it really well. And then there's also the secrets of ascendance. And I'm not going to begin to try to explain what that is yet, but I'll have tutorials of my own eventually. But just start, go on my Discord and just tell me you want to learn, and I'll send you stuff. Or just start watching Karis's videos. So, and just know, there's a lot of bad astrologers out there. Like, recently I had a phone call with some people who are into astrology, and they're telling me like, oh man, this girl has Mars in the 7th house. That means she's going to be a cheater. I'm like, shut up. You can't say that. You have to look at so much more than just that. It's not like that every single person's going to have that. You can't just tell someone that. You have to be extremely careful with what you tell people in astrology, because you can really affect people. And these people are just throwing around predictions, just saying random shit. I'm like, you've been studying astrology for 6 months, you're going to tell me this is a fact? Like, anytime someone says something, I'm like, oh, maybe. Oh, maybe. I want to understand. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, that. No, like, someone tells you something about your chart, don't just immediately believe them. Say, maybe I'll think about it and try to understand why that might be the case. So, there's a lot of bad astrologers. A lot of bad astrologers. Like, Capel is really the only one on YouTube I trust. And people have all these hurdles about astrology, like, oh, I don't want them to tell me something that might not be true, and then I believe it, and then I act that way. Or it's going to give me anxiety or whatever. But Capel, he's really careful not to tell you things that are negative and only tell you things that are going to help you. And if there's something negative that he thinks you should know, he will tell you in a gentle way, or indirectly, he'll give you the way to fix it without telling you something bad's going to happen in order to try to prevent it. So you don't even have something to worry about in the first place. He just recommends you something and doesn't say why. So he's really kind and considerate in his readings. And I recommend his readings. I really do. If your birth time is on your birth certificate, your mom, your dad, like, the birth time, you can guarantee that's your birth time. Like, yeah, get a Venus wealth reading. Get a career reading. But the Venus wealth reading is like his favorite reading, and that was like one of my favorite readings. So I would get a Venus and wealth reading from him. And there's so much wisdom in astrology. There's so much to learn. And a lot of astrologers are just reading shit out of books. And it's really a disservice, because, like I said, there's a lot of bad astrologers. And that's largely why many of you react poorly to it. And so I'll end the video on that. I guess I'll take 10 deep breaths, and I'll see if I have anything else to say. If you're watching this, I encourage you to meditate for 10 deep breaths. Okay? Exhale, and then I start. So it is my hope that through this video and my other videos that I inspire you, I awaken something in you, a desire in you to understand more, to pursue gaining awareness of things in reality that you were previously unaware of. And to give astrology a chance. If you go into astrology with wanting to disprove it, it's likely that you are going to not receive anything of value from it. If you are paying Capel for an astrology reading and you don't believe it, it's likely he's going to end up giving you a bad reading. Because he's a bad astrologer? No. Because giving you a bad reading might be giving you a good reading. If telling you something not true is what you need most, doesn't matter if the astrologer says something that's true or not. If what you needed to hear is something that's not true, that's what you needed most. And I'm just saying, there's more to meet that. There's more than what meets the eye. And so if you approach astrology with sincerity, you could have a wonderful reading that really benefits you. You know. And why would it be that it's good for you to hear something that's not true? Why would that be what you need? Because it'd almost be like excusing bad behavior if it just gave you the knowledge when you didn't believe it or deserve it. Why should astrology bless you if you don't believe it? If you want something's blessings, you have to pursue it with respect and sincerity. So if you're watching this video, you're still here right now, thank you. Please let me know in the comments if you're watching. Understand, maybe this video won't get hardly any views. Maybe 5 years go by and I go viral and somebody watches this video 5 years from now. If that's the case, say something. If I still have this video up, I probably will. I'm not going to go off topic too much. I easily could though. Meditation is essential if you're practicing astrology, because if you're just only thinking and not feeling, you're not going to understand the deeper essence of the chart, of the planets, of the world, of yourself. You have to clear the mind. You have to meditate in order to unlock, in order to make possible deeper perception, perceiving things that you previously were incapable of seeing. And it even gets into phenomena, metaphysics that you did not know was even possible in this reality. That's what's really exciting to me. Or when someone initially has a spiritual awakening, having your mind blown. A lot of people, it's scary to have everything you believe, realize that's a lie, and you hold on to it and fight it. Me personally, I was pretty blank slate. Just depends on how deeply rooted you are in your conditionings. You know, if someone I won't continue that thought. I was going to say something along the lines of if someone's completely unwilling to meditate, well, that thought didn't really lead anywhere. It just, if you're watching this and you think meditation is BS, or you're watching this, you think meditation is somehow bad, like it's demonic. Wow, there's a lot of different ways to experience the world. The capabilities of the world is far beyond what most are capable of imagining. The way society could be, you know, beliefs that people could have very often your beliefs make reality. But here's the thing. I might believe something's going to happen with astrology, and it ends up not happening. I'm like, oh, I totally thought this was going to do that. And it didn't. And then I can start to look at, okay, I can kind of see why my prediction was inaccurate. Yeah, you know. So I don't think there's a need to be afraid of these types of things. It's a very helpful thing. Maybe I'll end the video here because I don't know, it's turning more into vlog, freestyle. This whole thing is freestyle. But yeah, I just felt like sharing this because this is something I need to get across to you guys. And you can expect that astrology be more and more and more a part of my content. And I've had some success of getting people interested in it. And that's a very exciting thing. And yeah, guys, please, I'm asking you, give it a chance. Look into it. If it's meant for you, you will be astonished. You'll be mind blown. And it will be an absolute blessing for your life. If it's not meant for you, doesn't mean it's not true. It just might not be what you need right now. But it's still existing and operating in the background, whether you're aware of it or not. For me personally, I think it's just better to be aware of what's happening rather than unaware. That way we have more control over our lives. You might think that astrology gives control away from your life. You're giving your power away. Well, here's the thing. Knowing what's going on actually gives you more freedom, not less. Believing it's not true doesn't mean it's not true. It doesn't make it stop being true. So please, any opinions or feelings you have about the subject, really try to understand why you feel that way. And really think about my points. And if you think I'm a reasonable person, if you trust my ability to think with clarity, etc., take seriously what I'm saying. Because when I said that, I'm like, is this some sort of appeal to authority? Is this a logical fallacy? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just saying, hey, if you're my friend, hey man, please check this out. Funny thing is, a lot of the time, people who don't know me watch my videos more than my friends. So, if you're my friend watching this, let me know. Watch me get no reply. Oh, is that negative thinking? Or am I just being goofy? Or is the goofiness an expression of something? Psychoanalyzing. Understand yourself. Try to understand why you are the way you are. Why you are the way you are. Me personally, I can't tell you my chart. I'm not going to tell you my chart, but it checks out. It's funny. If I start using the vocabulary I want to use, you're just going to know. I'm just like, is there anything else I can say? Am I dragging the video on too long? I'm kind of treating this like a live stream now because I've been live streaming a lot lately. You watch this far, you let me know. What do you think of this video? If you disagree with anything, if anything doesn't make sense, or you want clarity on something, comment, and I will give you a thoughtful and considerate answer because I like to talk. I like to think as long as you're coming into it respectfully. And so I end the video there? I guess I will. Thanks for watching. And share the video, please, if you like it, if you want someone else to get into this.